In this next article from the Daily Mail, Chinese virologist who fled to the US after claiming coronavirus was made in a military lab says her mother has now been arrested in Beijing. Li Menyan told US based websites that her mother had been arrested. The virologist had alleged COVID 19 was quote unquote man made and quote not from nature end quote. Fellow scientists slammed Miss Yan's bombshell, claimed it was unsubstantiated. Twitter also suspended her account due to her disputed virus allegations. What is up with Twitter doing that stuff? Boy, they certainly are a publisher. They definitely edit the news. They apparently have these really fancy AI algorithms, and then they can detect you doing a thought crime before you even know that you're going to do it. So they need, under the Section 230 law in the United States, Twitter isn't actually supposed to get these because of the censorship that they've done. Under Section 230, they're supposed to moderate all of it or nothing. If they moderate any of it, then they have to moderate all of it. Because the only way you're supposed to get Section 230 protections is because you don't moderate any of the content. Is because all you're doing is eliminating things that are illegal when they come up, when people report it to you. That's the Section 230 Communications Decency Act in a nutshell. That's what it says, is that they're supposed to eliminate pornography from the view of minors and things that are akin to obscenities, other which is the things that is the words other objectionable content. So we got to take Twitter down. And Facebook, I don't know what to say. I'm really against nationalizing things. Some things are a public utility. The railroads in the United States are owned by the federal government. The land is owned by the federal government, but the railroad tracks themselves are owned by the Union Pacific, where I live at. I think they own most of it on the West Coast, but there's another company on the East Coast. I don't know about that, though. If you do know, if you can correct me down below. I don't know everything about the railroads. But I do know that that's the way it was because I used to ride the Amtrak train a lot. Sorry. Reading on in the article, a Chinese virologist who claimed the China virus was cooked up in a military lab has revealed the Chinese authorities had arrested her mother. Or they're repeating the same thing. I'm sorry. I'm just like reading this without saying anything. They have fluff. So this news outlet's pretty good. The Daily Mail. They put these really nice bullet points. They're kind of lefty, but they cover a lot of stuff that between them and the New York Post, they cover a lot of stuff. Definitely would recommend them. Some they're pretty lefty, so some of the stuff is irritating, but they've gotten better. I've noticed a lot less of that recently. Now I can't just like hark on them for being fake news all the time. So here's the woman, and her claims are reasonably reputable, but I don't know enough about it. She's saying that they fudged the genome data using some technique that allows them to mask the gene editing or hide the evidence of the gene editing. I don't know whether or not the claims were true. Her Twitter account was taken down mid-September after she accused China of intentionally manufacturing and releasing the China virus. Interview with Fox News, Carl Tarleson. Sorry, said that wrong. Fox News's Tucker Carlson, Yen claimed she was suspended because they didn't want people to know the truth. I have evidence to show, or quote, I have evidence to show that that they can do it, that they have done it, that they did do it, and quote, she told Fox News. Scientific World also keeps silent, works together with Chinese quote unquote Communist Party. They are a national socialist structure. They allow private property ownership. You cannot have private property ownership in communism. It is mutually exclusive of community control. In order to have private property, you cannot have community control. That's by very definition of communism. They have millions of Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps, which we'll get to here in just a moment. That's the next story. A video interview of the segment posted on Tucker Carlson's show page now comes with a warning that reads false information. This post repeats information about COVID-19 that independent fact checkers say is false. Here's a picture of the P4 laboratory at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Definitely looks like some place where the T virus might come from, right? If the T virus was going to come from any place in the entire world, it would probably come from this place right here. It has been the center of numerous theories that the China virus has been spread from this lab in central China. Here's the tweet from Tucker Carlson. It said, Chinese whistleblower to Tucker, this virus is made in a lab. I can prove it. Update, Facebook's trying to their best to censor this video. Just for the record, I have never been hit with any misinformation claims. Yan has also published a report which she claims backs her theory up that the contagion was built by merging the genetic material of two bat coronaviruses. She said it's a spike protein, a structure on the surface of virus which it uses to bind with cells, was edited to make it easier for the virus to latch onto human cells. But scientists have slammed her report as unsubstantiated, said it's not given any credibility. Research papers have already determined the origin of the viruses in bats, leading top experts dismissing suggestions that virus was created by humans as having zero evidence. I think the strongest evidence is just the raw statistical probability that it came from the bats. So there's the chance that it was made in this dark lab in China is that of a black swan. In artificial intelligence, we give everything the initial value of the black swan, which is some very number that's very close to zero, but it's not zero. So we do know that there is the SARS, or the virus, the original one. There's also the MERS, Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome, and then the PERS, which I forget what the P is a Persian Respiratory Syndrome, I think. I don't remember that one. So this virus has been in different forms in nature, so it's not actually like a new virus. This woman's claiming they took two different kinds of bat coronaviruses and they merged them together to make an extra special killer. I'm going to push back. I don't think it's really that extra special of a killer. It appears to be highly infectious, but not that deadly. So the chance that it was an animal that interacted with people is very high because the number of animal and human interactions is also very high. There's millions of interactions with people and bats each year, and any one of these interactions could have transferred the virus to a human. That is the strongest evidence that it's not made in a lab, is that the statistical probability of it is that of a black swan. But I did watch a video of a black swan feeding ducks the other day. So there are black swans. There are black swans, and China, uh, I believe, might have possibly known that the China virus was not that deadly and manufactured the fear by staging those scenes where they put that smoke stuff out. Who the hell knows what is that smoke stuff they're putting out? Nobody knows. They put on like hazmat suits and they like welded people into apartment buildings and they build that massive, huge pandemic hospital, and they probably never used it. And I believe that those could have been staged. I don't believe anything without evidence. I'm a 100% factual based person. Uh, you should take a critical thinking class. It will change your life. I took one with Pete Boghossian at Portland State University. That was badass. Pete Boghossian is famous for he had trolled some science publications. He put some like wrote some like completely out there research papers and submitted them and got them published in some prominent publications. And it was a big scandal. He got suspended from Portland State University because he had submitted false stuff. Even though I would argue that this was in the name of science. He showed that people in the scientific community will believe nonsense. Like they'll publish some wacky stuff, which is why we shouldn't trust everything from Fauci. He advised that we shut the entire country down. We let him run the show, we'd be bankrupt. If I can smoke cigarettes, there's 600,000 people who die from cigarettes every year. Wait, no, way more than that. I think there's like millions of people that die from lung cancer. I don't know the exact number, but it's way more people that are going to die from coronavirus, die every single year from lung cancer from smoking cigarettes. And they had a choice. They actually went and made a choice as to what they thought was best for them. And then apparently they thought getting lung cancer was cool. What else is it? I'm going to let you read the rest of this paper. We got to move on. What's this next story? Uyghur Muslims on this next one.